mining bill permitting cross-border crypto payments filed in Russian parliament. A draft law designed to regulate the mining of digital coins in Russia is also legalizing the use of cryptocurrencies in international settlements. It has been submitted to the Russian parliament after the rejection of an earlier bill which was aiming to allow domestic crypto payments as well. Russian lawmakers will review a new legislative proposal for the legalization of cryptocurrency mining, which has seen significant growth over the past few years. Announcing the filing of the bill,
Russia's invasion of Ukraine has challenged crypto exchanges on their commitment to immutable transactions on one end and cooperation with government on the other. Perhaps you could start off by explaining this inner conflict.
Sure. Well, I think one side of the conflict is very easy to understand and is very well known, that with the conflict in Ukraine, economic sanctions and freezing the country, Russia, and the bad actors over there out economically is an incentive to push them into behaving better. But what you have in the crypto world is really an ethos and an environment where people don't want to differentiate between crypto users, and crypto has been really an amazing tool for allowing people to survive under totalitarian regimes. I can't think of any use case that of all the different Bitcoin and crypto use cases we have, I can't think of any use case that is better than Venezuela and what Bitcoin has meant for the people in Venezuela. And that same kind of ethos applies to the people in Russia, is meant for the people in Venezuela. And that same kind of ethos applies to the people in Russia. Crypto is extremely well adopted there and is really a very powerful tool for giving those people power against the governments. So when it comes to how crypto exchanges deal with Russian users, you really have this conflict between sort of these two very important and very understandable incentives.
So you say most crypto exchanges have resisted blocking Russian users from using their services, but that there's technology that might help them maintain their principles and identify bad actors, because, well, all crypto exchanges, like all banks, at least in the United States, have to comply with U.S. sanctions, and that is to say that there are certain persons, oligarchs, that they've named that can't be banked, basically. So how to deal with that conundrum?
Well, so I think part of the picture is very clear. I think if OFAC, the U.S. government, has sanctioned a particular person or a particular company ambiguous, and the sanctions laws come not just from the U.S. but from Europe as well. What I think is a very clear win for the exchanges is, well, Russia also happens to be the source of a lot of the illicit activity in crypto, and not just a lot of it. Well over half of it comes out of Russia and the other. Russia, the Commonwealth of Independent States around Russia, that is really the cradle of where.
You're talking about an Elementis report that you guys did that I think like 5 of 8 big ransomware attacks were attributed to Russia, and the other 3 were connected to Russia in some way.
Yeah. All 10 of the top 8, or excuse me, 8 of the top 8 are all tied to either Russia or the Commonwealth of Independent States around Russia. So they're all Russian linked, and so ransomware, as one example, has become predominantly a Russian phenomenon. All the large ransomware groups are based there. Beyond that, you have Hydra Market, which until it was taken down the other day, represented more than half of all darknet market activity on chain. So the amount of volume that was going through Hydra Market was more than the rest of the illegal goods trade with Bitcoin combined. And Hydra Market is also Russian-based. And so those are just 2 examples from kind of 2 different ecosystems within the crypto world that I think most people would agree are not so welcome here. So I think that there is an opportunity for crypto exchanges to comply with the spirit of the sanctions against Russia, but to do it focusing on these bad actors. And until recently, the the technology hasn't really been available for people to understand where, who the bad actors are and separate them from the good ones. That's no longer the case. Technology like the kind of technology that we offer, it does give you enough information to be able to identify the good actors from the bad ones. And I think starting off by refusing business, yes.
So you make it sounds like ability, but the will there? I mean, what incentive do these centralized have to stop such transactions outside of government intervention? I mean, do they really care? And we can say that. Well, of course, they have ethics and business ethics, but then again, central changes. Not all of them operate in the United States. And not all of them are hostile to Russia. So what's the incentive on their part to do so?
Well, first of all, this is not any kind of hostility towards Russia. In fact, quite the opposite. That the approach that I'm advocating is quite the opposite. Is being understanding of what crypto means to the ordinary people of Russia. It's the bad actors to focus on. It just so happens that a very large percentage of the bad actors in the crypto ecosystem do happen to come out of Russia, and can be identified. And now, as to the question of crypto exchanges care, I can't speak for the crypto exchanges. I think that crypto exchanges have, by and large, taken principled stances when put to the test. I think that's. And so I think if you want to say, do crypto exchanges care? Yeah, I think they do. I think everybody cares about this ecosystem and wants it to thrive and wants it to grow. And even if not from just a principled point of view, from an economic point of view as well.
So you're talking about centralized exchanges, but what about decentralized exchanges? Is that essentially thinking of creating essentially two-speed Bitcoin, if you will, making it basically non-fungible? Those that are tied to or bad actors, and those that aren't.
And sorry, the question about the decentralized exchanges is whether they should be taking the same notes as well?
Well, how do you stop them from allowing? And, can you stop them from allowing these kind of transactions? And then ultimately, does that mean that you then create a two-tiered Bitcoin?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, certainly no more than it's been in the past. The libertarian ethos of Bitcoin and of blockchain also applies to giving people the right not to do business with people they don't want to do business with. For instance, human traffickers. That's one ecosystem that operates on the blockchain. If I'm a crypto exchange, nobody can force me to do business with human traffickers and accept their money out of the principle of wanting Bitcoin to be fungible. So I don't think you'll find too many people disagreeing there. I would say the same also applies to ransomware groups, which are largely Russian-based crime groups that are causing a lot of problems around the world. That they have shut down. That are causing a lot of problems around the world. That they have shut down major national oil pipelines. Right now, Costa Rica's government is in a state of emergency.
What would happen to their Bitcoin then? Like, are you saying perhaps they should be seized? And, at least in money laundering cases, it could be seized and then, I don't know, given to some government source. Other times, products are sold at auction. So what would you do with, and in fact, there are Bitcoin auctions, but so what would you do with confiscated or Bitcoin that's been frozen because it's tied to bad actors?
Well, I mean, I think that's not a bad problem to have. I'm not sure what happens with the Bitcoin. I think it depends on where it comes from. If you're talking about the United States government arresting ransomware purveyors, then I suppose, auctioning it off makes the most sense.
And the idea of decentralized exchanges. I mean, what would you do there for bad actors?
Yeah, there. I think it's a mixed bag. You have different kinds of decentralized exchanges that operate in different kinds of ways. I'm not sure any of them are 100% decentralized, so I think that's really a case-by-case basis. I don't think, by the way, that centralized exchanges blocking some of these bad actors is going to necessarily sort of take the Bitcoin out of the market, and that they're not going to be able to go anywhere with it. The ransomware is not going to be stopped. Darknet markets, human traffickers are not going to be stopped by crypto exchanges.